Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, nerds and nerdettes, geeks alike. It's another day, another DCU update. Seems like every day we're getting updates from the DCU. James Gunn just can't stay off social media, and he's just giving YouTubers and creators like me just all sorts of things to talk about. So thank you, James Gunn, for not keeping your mouth shut, even when you just spill whatever you want to say. Um, we've got a lot to go over today. We've got, oh gosh, we've got Clayface, we've got Superman, Man of Tomorrow, we've got Batman, we've got Matt Reeves, we've got Ben Affleck, we've got a slew of things to talk about today. But let's get started off with. So, who remembers this DCU slate that we were given a year or so ago, 2 years ago? The Gods and Monsters, that was DC's phase one of the DCU. That has just been obliterated. I think the only things off that slate that we're still getting is Lanterns. Everything else is not happening, or they keep saying it's in development, which I think the only thing left on that slate that they keep saying is in development is Batman the Brave and the Bold, that we've heard nothing about. One of the things that they had came out with after that slate was a dynamic duo animated movie, which didn't make sense to me at the time. Well, now it gets even more interesting because it's being rewrote. This is from the Wrap, comes from the Wrap, and this says dynamic duo Scott Newstander and Michael H. Weber to rewrite DC Studios and Warner Brothers Pictures animation film. The film will focus on Batman's first two sidekicks, Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. Goes on to say, Newstander and Weber have been tapped to rewrite Dynamic Duo, a theatrical animated film featuring Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, who have both taken up the mantle of Batman's sidekick Robin. The Wrap has exclusively learned the film currently has a June 30th, 2028 release date. Arthur Mintz will direct the project. Mintz was his wife, Theresa Anderson, founded Swaybox, an animation studio located in New Orleans, Louisiana, who is providing the one-of-a-kind animation for the feature. The animation style of Dynamic Duo is a combination of miniatures, models, puppetry, animatronics, and computer animation. A lot of times projects are being described as unlike anything you've ever seen before, but in the case of Dynamic Duo, that really is true. Expect the unexpected with this one. Goes on to say, in DC Comics history, Jason Todd joined the Batman mythos as a new Robin to take the place of Dick Grayson, who had left Batman's side to lead the Teen Titans. In this film, Dick and Jason will both be Robins, training to defend Gotham side by side alongside Batman. Matt Reeves, director of the Batman and its upcoming sequel, will produce through his Six and Idaho banner, though Dynamic Duo will take place in a separate timeline from his film starring Robert Pattinson, and as we understand it, outside of the current DCU universe canon. Why? Anderson and James Gunn will also produce with DC Studios co-CEO Peter Safran. Lynn Harris is producing for Six and Idaho. Rafi Krone and Michael Uslan are the executive producers. Again, I don't know why they're doing this animation. If you're going to do a dynamic duo with Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, make it live action, put it in the DCU, or put it in the Batman universe. Matt Reeves is already producing. Why do all this goofy stuff? God, it doesn't make any sense. None of the DCU makes sense. None of it. I keep saying, I firmly believe that Robert Pattinson is going to be the DCU Batman. We've heard no more casting about the Brave and the Bold or Batman or when he's coming. They've gone silent on it. There was a bunch of rumor and speculation, and James Gunn kept teasing. Now we're not getting any of those teases. I think the script was turned in for the Batman Part 2. I think it was way better than The Brave and the Bold, that we haven't heard anything about. I think they're retooling it to put elements from The Brave and the Bold into the Batman Part 2. But again, this just does not make sense to me. Make it live action in the DCU, or if you're going to use Robert Pattinson, make it his Robins. This animation outside of the Batman and outside of the DCU, it's goofy. I don't understand it, and it's just adding more confusion to the fire. Back to adding confusion to the fire, let's take a look at this, because James Gunn, this is coming from Superhero Hype, has come out and said Man of Tomorrow's connection to Peacemaker Season 2. Again, why? It says DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn has opened up about the connection between the upcoming Superman sequel, Man of Tomorrow, but it's not a Superman sequel. That's what James Gunn said. And John Cena's Peacemaker Season 2. This comes after David Cornsweet recently shared a behind-the-scenes photo of him and Cena on the set of the HBO Max show's latest installment. I'll get to that in a minute. So what did James Gunn say? This was basically Nick Tisnado posted this and said, hey, there's some weird concerns about this R-rated DCU project. Shouldn't be the main direct tie-in to the main share arc with Superman and Man of Tomorrow, which are obviously PG-13. And you have said it many times that you don't have to watch Peacemaker Season 2 to understand Superman or Man of Tomorrow, correct? Like shared universe aspects or just more context to that individual story? Question mark. Good old James Gunn, you know he's going to give an answer. He says, that's right. As I've said countless times, you can watch every project by itself. Of course, just like you can watch Peacemaker by itself or watch Superman without seeing Creature Commandos. But Man of Tomorrow and Peacemaker Season 2 are very, very connected. So, are they connected, or is no one watching Peacemaker and it's not doing the numbers that James Gunn thought it would, and he's trying to boost it by saying, oh, Man of Tomorrow is very, very connected to it? Because Man of Tomorrow was not announced until after Peacemaker debuted. It did not debut well. 712,000 households watching compared to the Penguin that was 3.2 million. I don't think they're connected as what he thinks they are, but we'll get into this because I mentioned it in that article, but this picture was making its rounds on social media of David Cornsweet in the Superman costume on the Peacemaker set with John Cena. I would not be shocked if he does show up in Peacemaker. Would not be shocked. I'm still not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch Peacemaker. But I would not be shocked if he shows up. And that's what James Gunn wants. James Gunn wants to bring a family property like Superman into that crap Peacemaker that he's made. And he wants to put it all together because he wants to make people watch it to make it connect. I don't think it's going to be that connected. I think it's going to be a stupid cameo. They're going to make fun of Superman. It's going to be stupid and it's going to be dumb because that's what James Gunn does, and that's all he knows how to do. Excuse me. I just don't understand. And now, let's get into more things that don't make any sense about canon or being connected. So, anyone remember this book that was released It was a official novel prequel, the prequel junior novel to Superman. I almost picked this up because I did the same thing with the Batman. When it came out, they had a prequel junior novel, and I picked the Batman one up. The Batman one was hardcover, thin book, but it was hardcover. I picked it up. I saw the Superman one. They went cheap on it. It was paperback. It was just a tiny book. I wasn't going to pay the money for it, so I did not buy it. Someone came out and asked James Gunn. RB DeGroff said, so the Welcome to Metropolis prequel novel isn't canon? Or is that just an exception? James Gunn says, it is not canon. No. Not canon? We were told it was canon. So what's canon and what's not canon? It all depends on James Gunn's mood on a given day, I think. I just don't understand. I don't understand his thought process on any of the canon or anything with the DCU. He just wants to do what he wants to do. I think the best thing for the DCU would be to get James Gunn just out of the way, get him off social media. I don't care if he's still in charge, but I'm anxious to see how Supergirl is going to turn out without him directing it. How much influence is he really going to have, and how much is a studio really going to have? Or are they actually going to let these directors and creators make their projects? I'm anxious to see. Which, that leads into Clayface. We got this picture from the Clayface set, which looks like a poster on the wall or something, and it says, corruption is the enemy of the people. But down below, it says, march against the GCPD, Park Row, Gotham, this Saturday, 2 p.m. Join the Joker. So this is a tease that the Joker exists in this universe. Now, everybody's saying this is the DCU. It's the DCU. I'm still not convinced it's the DCU. It might be the DCU, but all the set pictures of Gotham, everything that's going on, these flyers, everything looks like it is from the Matt Reeves universe he built. There is even a billboard that they took a picture of. I don't have the picture, but I did see it, and it said something about the Gotham Regeneration Project, and it's about them rebuilding the city. And I said, a regeneration project sounds like something you would do after your city was destroyed by a flood. I mean, these can't all be coincidences. I think this all ties into what they're doing, and I think this is the Matt Reeves universe. Like I've said before, if you've watched my other Clayface videos, this isn't the same Clayface that we got in Creature Commandos, and that was the DCU. So are they going to have two Clayfaces running around the DCU? Or is this Matt Reeves universe they're making into the DCU, and Creature Commandos is only going to be canon, certain things are only canon. I mean, I can hear James Gunn saying that now. But I think this is I think this is Matt Reeves' universe that they're pulling over into the DCU. I think that will be a trial for Clayface to see how it performs in that world, and then they'll have the Batman Part 2. I still can't fathom that they would release a Superman and Batman movie in the same year if they're not in the same universe. It just doesn't make sense to me. So there's that. That's pretty much all the DCU stuff that I have today. There was one more picture I wanted to talk about. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Now this is DCEU related. And I saw this picture going around because I always thought I had a theory for this. Um, this is a picture of Ben Affleck when he was young, and then Ben Affleck when he played Batman and Bruce Wayne. I always thought, back when we had the Snyderverse, I thought a HBO Max series, an HBO Max series using AI deepfake technology to de-age Ben Affleck and have a story in the present and then have flashbacks throughout his whole 20-year run in Gotham would have been a great series to see. I think they could have done multiple seasons with it. Um, I think they could have brought in all the Robins. I think they could have brought in other characters. I think they could have brought in Catwoman. I think they could have done so much with that show. It would have been costly for the technology, but it would have, I think it could have been an epic thing to see. Just my thoughts. Just wanted to show that. Also, the Emmys, I guess the Emmys were split up into 2 nights. I didn't realize that. I think the televised portion is this coming Sunday, but they did have a portion this past weekend. And the Penguin actually walked away with 8 Emmys so far. 8 Emmys. So that right there tells you what the DCU, what DC should be doing, because it thrives when it focuses on the story and the characters, and they do a darker side to the characters and the story. That's what DC has always been. That's when it's been the best, is when they do focused stories, focused characters, story-driven, character-driven content, and they stay away from the campy and the goofy. Their mistake is they always try to go the Marvel route, and they always try to do the campy and the goofy, and they try to be like Marvel, and they're not. When they make focus on the characters and do these stories, that's when they really shine, and that's what the fans want to see, and the viewership is showing that, the awards is showing that, everything is showing that, and I don't know why they can't see this, and why they keep making the same mistakes over and over and putting themselves in the same position over and over again. I'll never understand it. Anyway, that's all I have today. It was a lengthy video. If you stayed around the whole video till now, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content that I have coming out. I do movie news, movie reviews, TV reviews, cosplay, and a whole lot more that you don't want to miss out on. So please hit that notification bell so it'll alert you when I have new videos out. With that being said, I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. God bless everyone watching, and thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. I'm trying to grow your subscribers, so please subscribe. We will see you on the next video.